When you think about the internet, what do you picture? Wi-Fi signals zipping through the air? Maybe satellites circling the globe? The cloud? Well, today, we're going deep, and I mean that literally, to uncover the real, physical foundation of our digital world.
This one sentence right here just shatters the way most of us think about it. It completely reframes everything. The internet isn't some weightless, ethereal thing floating around. No, it's heavy, it's wet, and it is very, very real.
And this really lays out that misconception perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you have the idea we all have in our heads, this clean, abstract cloud. But the reality, on the right, it's a massive physical network of actual wires stretched across the dark, cold, and muddy floor of the ocean.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's dive right into this physical body. We're going to peel back the surface of the ocean and take a hard look at the global nervous system that actually powers our modern lives.
I mean, just look at this. The numbers are staggering. We hear all this buzz about satellite internet, but it handles less than 1% of international data. An absolutely jaw-dropping 99% of everything, your emails, your Netflix streams, your video calls, all of it travels through these cables under the sea.
So just how big are we talking here? Try to wrap your head around this number. 1.4 million kilometers. That is the total length of fiber optic cable sitting on the ocean floor right now. Just let that number sink in.
And to put that into perspective, if you could somehow pull all of that cable up and wrap it around the Earth, you could circle the entire planet more than 35 times. It's a truly mind-boggling feat of global engineering.
So you've got to wonder, right? What kind of cable can actually survive at the bottom of the ocean? Let's get into the incredible engineering behind these titans of the deep.
These things are basically technological marvels. They have to deal with crushing pressures that would flatten a submarine, withstand temperatures that are just barely above freezing, and fight off the constant corrosive attack of salt water 24/7. And the craziest part, for most of their journey, they're actually surprisingly thin. Okay, so they're incredibly tough, right? Well, here's the twist. For all their amazing toughness, this global network is also surprisingly fragile. So let's talk about how this vital lifeline can, and often does, break. You'd think the biggest threats would be something epic, right? Like deep-sea volcanoes or massive underwater earthquakes. But what does the data actually show us?
Well, the truth is, it's almost funny how boring it is. The biggest dangers to our global communications network aren't some James Bond villain or a catastrophic natural disaster. Nope. It's fishing trawlers dragging their nets along the seabed and ships accidentally dropping their anchors in the wrong spot. That's it. Those two very human activities cause the vast majority of all cable breaks.
And we're not talking about a rare event. This happens all the time. We're looking at around 200 breaks or faults every single year. A cable gets cut and a highly specialized repair ship has to go out and perform delicate surgery on the ocean floor. The big takeaway here is kind of wild. The internet is in a constant state of being fixed. So this all raises a huge question, right? Who actually owns this critical infrastructure? Who's in control? Because the answer has changed a lot in just the last few years. For decades, these cables were built by your national phone companies, or big groups of them working together. But that is totally flipped. Today, the companies building and owning the newest, most important cables are the tech giants. Yep, Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft. They are becoming the new lords of the ocean floor, controlling the physical pipes our data travels through.
So if satellites aren't really the future, what is? Well, believe it or not, the future of the internet is even more wired. Let's take a quick peek at what's coming down the pipeline. Literally.
First, we're talking way higher capacity. Data measured in petabits. That's a 1 with 15 zeros after it. Then, new technologies like hollow core fiber are going to transmit that data faster than ever before. But this last one, this is the real game changer. They're developing smart cables with sensors built right in, turning the entire internet backbone into a nervous system for the planet itself, monitoring climate change, ocean currents, even seismic activity.
So, when it all comes down to it, the most important thing to remember is this one simple, powerful idea. The next time you hear someone talk about the cloud, you'll know the truth. The internet isn't floating above our heads. It is firmly anchored in the depths of the sea.
And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question to think about. As this hidden network becomes more powerful and more essential than ever, not just for communication, but for actually understanding our planet, who do we, as a global community,
trust to be its guardian.